Okay, so here is some cool virtualization for you. I'm running a Ubuntu 64-bit kernel on my laptop. I'm using Windows 7 VM just for daily tasks. Here it is, and it works quite well. I'm using VMware Workstation for 64-bit kernel. I'm also running ES6 server as a VM on my workstation. This particular ES6 server thinks that it has this CPU and this RAM. I'm also using a VM to run vCenter. The vCenter controls that host. This host again is a VM. And on that host I also have Nexus 1000V virtual Ethernet module installed and some VMs running. So this particular VM is running inside my ES6 host that runs as a VM on my workstation. So here is the Nexus 1000V virtual supervisor module, and when we look at the module we see that the host has that virtual Ethernet module, and I'm totally controlling the networking part of that ES6. I'm also using a Nexus 7K as a VM, just using some RAM there, and this particular Nexus 7K has some virtual routers running. This Nexus 7K has routing table. I'm using a gateway here to allow my entire environment to connect to the outside world. I'm doing that using a vyatta router. The vyatta router has some interfaces that I'm assigning to, and some internal VLANs just to have the connections between my systems, all using the same bridged networking. So the router has just two adapters in and out. The Nexus 7K VM has 4 of them. It's quite cool to see that the Nexus 7K has just a module with 4 ports. Now I'm in need for a particular VM running on my ES6 to be migrated. This particular VM is running a cool application called newscale. I want to run it on my workstation instead of inside the ES6. I need the ES6 to run different VMs later on. So I just use a VMware vCenter converter to move that particular VM from that host to an external media that I have, an external hard drive connected with USB 3. So it's quite fast, and 1 terabit of capacity, and yeah, it's just completed. So now I can easily add that to my environment and just run it locally on my workstation and connect it to the environment instead of running it inside the ES6. By the way, this will be for later conversations, but I also have Xen server able to run as a VM on my workstation, and I have a couple of VMs interconnected between that Xen server and the ES6 server. Quite interesting setup, but see you later with this. By the way, my laptop has 8 virtual CPUs running. Here is the status right now, and the total environment is just taking 75% of my RAM because I have a total of 16 gig RAM on my laptop. Yeah, see you later guys.